New reports reveal that Tom Aspinall's medical team has provided a critical update on his ongoing recovery from bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome. Sources say Aspinall is facing a pivotal decision point, with potential steroid injections or even surgery on the table, casting a long shadow over his return to the octagon, and fans instantly reacted with a mix of grave concern for his health and intense speculation about the future of the UFC heavyweight division. While other headlines might grab attention, the gravity of Aspinall's situation profoundly affects the immediate future of the UFC Heavyweight Championship and his long-standing rivalry with Jon Jones. For those unfamiliar, bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome, resulting from the severe double eye poke Aspinall suffered against Ciryl Gane, impacts the superior oblique muscle in both eyes, leading to limited eye movement and debilitating double vision. This isn't just a minor irritation, it's a condition that can fundamentally impair his ability to see, let alone compete at an elite level. The initial line of treatment, as we understand it, will likely involve a series of steroid injections. These injections aim to reduce inflammation and scarring around the affected muscles, hopefully restoring some degree of normal eye movement and mitigating the double vision. It's a non-surgical approach, often preferred first, but its success rate for traumatic cases can vary. Should the steroid injections prove insufficient after a designated period, typically several weeks to a few months, Aspinall's medical team would then need to consider more invasive surgical options. Surgery for Brown syndrome usually involves adjusting or releasing the affected superior oblique tendon to improve muscle function. This would be a much more significant undertaking, requiring a longer and more complex rehabilitation period. Regardless of the treatment path, the road to recovery for Tom Aspinall is undeniably lengthy and uncertain. He remains medically uncleared for any form of strenuous training or sparring, which is a major red flag for a fighter of his caliber. Even if injections are successful, a full return to combat readiness involves regaining optimal vision, depth perception, and confidence, things essential for an MMA heavyweight. If surgery is required, we could be looking at a minimum of 6 months to a year or even longer before he's even cleared to begin a proper fight camp, pushing his potential return well into late 2025 or even 2026. This prolonged absence throws the entire heavyweight landscape into disarray, leaving the interim title in limbo and fueling further speculation about a potential undisputed champion, especially given Jon Jones' recent comments.
Our top story today involves Tom Aspinall, who has just suffered a catastrophic double eye poke injury during his highly anticipated UFC 321 title defense against Ciryl Gane, leading to an immediate no contest and a severe medical diagnosis that casts a long, dark shadow over his promising career. According to official UFC medical reports released post-fight, corroborated by Aspinall's candid interviews and social media statements, they said, "It wasn't just one poke, it was like 2 fingers simultaneously jammed into both my eyes during the very first round. The pain was searing, immediate, and utterly blinding. I instantly lost all vision, couldn't make out the referee's signals or anything in front of me. It was a complete whiteout, leaving me utterly helpless and unable to continue." The diagnosis of bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome followed swiftly, a condition where the superior oblique muscle in both eyes is restricted, causing impaired eye movement and debilitating double vision. "I'm currently not medically cleared for any training, let alone fighting, and the doctors are discussing steroid injections or even surgery as potential remedies. To make matters worse, I genuinely believe Gane's tactics throughout that initial exchange were highly aggressive and careless, bordering on cheating, which directly led to this horrific incident. This has caused major reactions across the MMA community. Fans commented, expressing an outpouring of shock, sympathy, and deep concern for Aspinall's health and his long-term prospects in the sport. Social media exploded with calls for the UFC to implement immediate changes to glove design to prevent future eye pokes, with many lamenting that such a pivotal title fight was decided by an accidental yet devastating foul. There's a collective sense of frustration that a champion's reign could be derailed by something so preventable, and genuine worry for the physical and mental toll this injury will take on Aspinall. While analysts believe this unfortunate incident has thrown the entire UFC heavyweight division into unprecedented disarray, experts are now debating the potential for an interim title, or even the difficult decision of stripping Aspinall if his recovery period extends beyond a reasonable time frame, especially given the complex nature of ocular injuries. The consensus is that Aspinall's road to recovery will be arduous and uncertain, potentially altering the trajectory of his career and delaying the highly anticipated unification bout for years. This situation could affect the entire UFC heavyweight championship lineage, the immediate fight calendar for contenders, and certainly Aspinall's standing as a champion, placing immense pressure on both him and the organization to navigate this crisis, especially if Tom Aspinall's full medical clearance is prolonged, demanding extensive rehabilitation or multiple surgeries, or if the UFC fails to clearly articulate a contingency plan for the division, leaving the top contenders in a state of suspended animation. This brings us to another heated situation involving the controversial former heavyweight champion, Jon Jones, whose insensitive and widely criticized response to Aspinall's injury has only intensified their bitter rivalry and sparked further outrage across the MMA landscape.
Dana White responded to Tom Aspinall's very public and impassioned accusation that Ciryl Gane's repeated eye pokes during their UFC 321 title defense were not merely accidental, but rather a deliberate cheating tactic designed to incapacitate him and gain an unfair advantage in a high-stakes championship bout, saying, "Look, nobody wants to see a fight end like that, especially a heavyweight title fight that everyone was so hyped for. It's an absolutely brutal situation for Tom Aspinall, and my heart goes out to him with the injury he sustained. But these are fast-paced, split-second, high-intensity moments in the octagon. The referee made the call in the moment, the doctors assessed the injury, and it was ruled an accidental foul, resulting in a no contest. To jump straight to cheating and suggesting malice, that's a very strong accusation against a professional like Ciryl Gane. Incidents like this, as tragic and impactful as they are, unfortunately happen in combat sports." Dana seemed annoyed and dismissive, especially after rumors claimed there was growing pressure from certain fan communities and even Aspinall's camp for the UFC to launch an official review or investigation into Gane's intent, implying that the open hand technique Gane often employs was exploited to cause injury. He clarified that under the unified rules of mixed martial arts, eye pokes are undeniably fouls, but they are almost always ruled accidental unless there is unequivocal, irrefutable evidence of malicious intent to cause harm, which the referee and ringside officials unequivocally did not find in Gane's actions. The fight was stopped purely due to Aspinall's inability to continue, a grave medical necessity, and not as a result of any deliberate, disqualifiable act of foul play from Gane that would warrant further disciplinary action. Dana made it clear that while tragic, the ruling stands, insisting that the fight was officially a no contest. It was an accidental foul that caused a very serious and career-threatening injury to Tom Aspinall. There is no official investigation into Ciryl Gane's intent, nor is one being considered by the UFC. It's an incredibly unfortunate outcome, but that's the reality of the situation. End of story on the intent from our perspective. This sparked even more passionate reactions online, with many fans agreeing with Dana White, emphasizing the inherent risks of MMA and chalking it up to an unfortunate albeit devastating accident. However, a significant portion of the fan base rallied vociferously behind Tom Aspinall, pointing to Gane's somewhat controversial open-hand defensive stance as a recurring issue that needs addressing, and demanding stricter penalties or even a formal post-fight review given the severity of Aspinall's current diagnosis of bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome and the potential need for surgery. The debate raged on fighter safety versus the competitive tactics employed within the rules. Transition. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, matchmaking seems to be slowing down.
Reports now say the UFC is desperately trying to finalize the undisputed heavyweight title picture, but critical issues involving the injured interim champion Tom Aspinall and the long-reigning yet inactive Jon Jones are causing significant and frustrating delays. An insider close to the situation confided, "The heavyweight division is a total mess right now. Aspinall's injury couldn't have come at a worse time, effectively sidelining the only legitimate contender Jones seemed to actively avoid. Now, with Tom out indefinitely, Jones has even less incentive to return quickly, and we're back to square one with no clear path to unify the belts." The UFC's ideal scenario likely involves Jon Jones finally defending his undisputed title, possibly against Stipe Miocic in the blockbuster event they've long targeted. But persistent scheduling problems, primarily stemming from Jones's prolonged absence and his current public disinterest in an immediate return, may push things back indefinitely, leaving the division in limbo. This situation could result in a confusing scramble for the next interim heavyweight title bout, potentially pitting Ciryl Gane, who had his own fight with Aspinall declared a no contest, against a top contender like Sergey Pavlovich or Curtis Blades. Such a move would only create a further bottleneck and more layers of interim gold, while Aspinall recuperates from his severe bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome, potentially for months. The long-stalled unification bout with Jon Jones is now further complicated. With Aspinall sidelined, Jones might face even less pressure to return, leaving the entire heavyweight landscape fractured and without a clear undisputed champion in sight. The division's future hinges precariously on Aspinall's uncertain whims, creating an unprecedented level of chaos. Transition. As matchmaking stalls, fighters are speaking out. Jon Jones responded to the situation on social media, making his feelings on Tom Aspinall's injury unequivocally clear. Jones, known for his provocative online presence and masterful use of psychological warfare, didn't hold back. Almost immediately following the announcement of Aspinall's no contest due to a severe eye poke, Jones changed his social media profile picture to a cartoon duck wearing an eye patch, a blatant derisive jab at Aspinall's predicament. Beyond the visual taunt, Jones directly called Aspinall a quitter in a subsequent post, adding fuel to the fire with a statement that resonated with his detractors and supporters alike. He quit, simple as that. Some guys just aren't built for that pressure when things get tough. I told you Aspinall wasn't on my level, and this just proves it. He's always looking for an excuse when the going gets rough. This statement was clearly aimed at Tom Aspinall, directly questioning his toughness, heart, and commitment following the abrupt end to his UFC 321 bout. Fans reacted with a highly divisive mix of outrage and agreement across every platform. Many condemned Jones for mocking a fighter's potentially career-altering injury, calling his actions classless, disrespectful, and even cowardly, especially given Aspinall's repeated public calls for a unification bout against Jones. They argued it was a low blow, even for Jones. Others, however, applauded Jones for telling it like it is, echoing his skepticism about Aspinall's claim of injury being legitimate or the sole reason for the fight being stopped. This escalation has only amplified the already intense desire among fight fans to see these two finally square off, with calls for Jones to return to defend his undisputed title growing louder than ever, despite Aspinall's uncertain recovery timeline. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall, despite grappling with a serious diagnosis of bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome and an uncertain future, wasted no time firing back. The interim heavyweight champion, clearly seething from Jones's jabs, expressed his profound disappointment and frustration, not just with the comments themselves, but with what they represent about Jones's character. Aspinall didn't mince words, delivering a scathing rebuke. It's pathetic, honestly. Here's a guy who's supposedly the greatest of all time, the undisputed champion, retired, and all he can do is troll from the sidelines, mocking a serious injury. It's not just disrespectful to me and everything I've worked for, it's genuinely damaging his own legacy. I've been trying to get a fight with him for over a year, practically begging him to step in the cage to unify this division, and this is how he acts? It just proves he has no intention of ever stepping in the cage with me, because deep down he knows he can't win. And frankly, it just shows how truly afraid he is of any real competition. Focus on your own career, Jon, if you even have one left to defend. This only fueled more drama going into the next major heavyweight announcement and cast a significant shadow over the heavyweight division's immediate future. The verbal jousting solidifies the long-standing rivalry as arguably the most heated and personal in the sport, ensuring that whenever Aspinall is clear to return, the demand for this unification bout will be at an absolute fever pitch. Transition, and now let's move into our final story.
The MMA world is reeling tonight after Tom Aspinall's highly anticipated title defense was declared a no contest due to a horrific eye injury. But if that wasn't enough drama, interim champ Jon Jones immediately took to social media to mock Aspinall, igniting a fiery war of words between the heavyweight rivals. Welcome back to Combat Buzz Daily. Today, we've got a huge update involving Tom Aspinall's severe eye injury, halting his title defense, and the devastating medical implications for his career. We also have reactions from Jon Jones, breaking info about Aspinall's potential surgery, and Jones's controversial social media mockery, and updates on the escalating war of words between the two heavyweights. Let's jump straight into it. The fight that was meant to be a crowning moment for Tom Aspinall turned into a nightmare at UFC 321 in October 2025. During the very first round of his highly anticipated title defense against Ciryl Gane, Aspinall suffered a severe accidental double eye poke, an incident he controversially claims was the result of Gane's cheating tactics. The fight was immediately halted, and with Aspinall unable to see, the referee had no choice but to wave off the contest, declaring it a no contest. The fallout from that octagon catastrophe has been devastating for the British phenom. Medics quickly diagnosed him with bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome, a debilitating condition that severely impairs eye movement and causes persistent double vision. Aspinall is still far from medically cleared to even train, let alone fight, and faces a long road to recovery that could involve painful steroid injections or even extensive surgery. His championship reign is now clouded by uncertainty and a recovery timeline that remains completely unknown. But the story doesn't end with Aspinall's injury. The long-standing, often bitter rivalry between Aspinall and former heavyweight king Jon Jones has flared up spectacularly. Jones, who has made no secret of his reluctance to face Aspinall in the octagon, wasted no time in fanning the flames of controversy. In a move that shocked many, Bones changed his social media profile picture to a duck wearing an eye patch, a clear and callous jab at Aspinall's debilitating injury. He didn't stop there, publicly labeling Aspinall a quitter, adding insult to severe injury. Tom Aspinall understandably was furious. He fired back immediately, criticizing Jones for focusing his energy on him while ostensibly retired, and accusing the former champion of actively damaging his own legacy and reputation with such unprofessional conduct. Aspinall voiced his profound disappointment with Jones' comments, especially after spending over a year relentlessly pursuing a unification bout with Jones, only to be met with derision and mockery in his most vulnerable moment. This escalating war of words ensures that even with Aspinall sidelined, the heavyweight division remains absolutely buzzing with bad blood. And so, as we look to the future of the heavyweight division, the immediate outlook remains clouded, much like Tom Aspinall's vision. The interim champion's diagnosis of bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome isn't just a minor setback. It's a severe, career-threatening injury that could profoundly alter the trajectory of his incredibly promising career. With impaired eye movement and persistent double vision, Aspinall is far from medically clear to even consider stepping back into training, let alone the octagon.
The specter of steroid injections or even extensive surgery looms large, casting a long shadow over what should have been his dominant reign. This isn't merely about pulling out of a fight. It's about a fighter's fundamental ability to perform and, indeed, to see clearly. The gravity of this situation cannot be overstated. It threatens to sideline one of the most exciting heavyweights for an indefinite period, leaving the division in a state of flux. Compounding this medical uncertainty is the bitter, unresolved feud with Jon Jones. Jones's calculated provocations, from the infamous duck profile picture to labeling Aspinall a quitter, have poured salt into an already gaping wound. Aspinall naturally has fired back with justified indignation, highlighting Jones's perceived hypocrisy in mocking an injured fighter while remaining on the sidelines himself. The interim champion's frustration is palpable. He spent over a year tirelessly pursuing a unification bout, only to be met with avoidance and now outright disrespect during his most vulnerable moment. This isn't just a professional rivalry anymore. It's intensely personal, a clash of egos and principles that has captivated the MMA world and further polarized fan opinion. The war of words ensures that whenever Aspinall does return, the target on Jones's back will be larger than ever. The implications for the heavyweight landscape are significant. With Aspinall's status uncertain, the division's path to a unified champion becomes increasingly opaque. Will the UFC introduce another interim title, or will they simply wait, leaving the lineal title in Jones's hands, seemingly untouchable? Contenders like Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, or even a returning Stipe Miocic will undoubtedly be eyeing opportunities. But without a clear timeline for Aspinall's return, the hierarchy remains frustratingly unsettled. The division desperately needs its stars active and vying for undisputed gold. What remains clear, however, is the fervent hope among fans and pundits alike for Tom Aspinall's complete and total recovery. His talent is undeniable, his rise meteoric, and his presence vital to the excitement of the heavyweight class. We sincerely wish him the best in his medical journey. And should he overcome this immense challenge, as we all hope he does, then the eventual showdown with Jon Jones, a clash born out of competitive ambition, solidified by injury and ignited by intense personal animosity, will not just be a fight for a belt. It will be a fight for legacy, for respect, and for the soul of the heavyweight division. What do you think about Tom Aspinall's recovery prognosis and the ongoing feud with Jon Jones? Should the UFC wait for Aspinall's full recovery before booking any other interim title fights, or should they crown a new interim champion? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe for daily MMA updates here at Combat Buzz Daily. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.